반갑습니다.
반갑습니다.
Great. Welcome to New Jersey Temple.
Thank you.
Today I'd like to talk about all things are created by the mind.
Okay.
There was a street where I used to go. One summer day, the sidewalk was so messy. I looked up and saw branches hanging down the street. There was a whole bunch of mulberries on it. Do you know mulberries?
I've heard of them.
Mm-hmm. Have you eaten that?
No.
No. Okay. It seems like no one picked it up. So I picked a few and I ate them. It's really sweet and juicy.
Mm.
In the middle of the summer, the mulberry was like a treasure for me. It has been a week or two. As I used to do, I picked a couple of them and I put them on my palm and looked at it. I just wanted to see them, how grateful they are. But it was something terrifying. I looked closely and I saw really vivid red colored worm wriggling and crawling through the mulberries. And I threw them at the branches. I felt like I had a stomachache and I just walked across the street because I was afraid maybe the worm the fall down on my head.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, I looked back at the mulberry trees and all of a sudden I became very curious. Just before, the mulberry was so grateful. But after I saw the red colored worm, why I feel disgusted now? This question reminded me a story about monk Wonhyo. Wonhyo was a monk of a Shilla, one of the dynasties of Korea. In 661, he had decided to go to China, which was Tang Dynasty at the time, to study abroad with his fellow monk, Uisang. And it was a night to rest in a cave near the border while traveling on foot. Wonhyo woke up in the middle of night, feeling very thirsty. The cave was pitch dark, so he fumbled to find some water. But there was no spring water, but he was able to find the water in a gourd. So he drank it. It was so cool. It was so sweet. After he figured out he's thirsty, he went to sleep. It was very great. In the morning, he found the water again. He wanted to share that sweet water with his friend Uisang. But what he found was the water in a skull. It was a bone water. He felt disgusted and nauseous. And suddenly he became curious. When he drank the water at night, it was truly sweet. But now, why? Why he was vomiting after knowing that the water contained in a skull? He reminded one of Kuan, all things are created by the mind. He decided to back to Shilla. So his friend went to China to study abroad, but he came back to Shilla. And he taught common people about the mind. What does it mean that everything is created by the mind? What do you think?
I think it's because
All things created by the mind is one Buddhist perspective. Let's think about it. If I think that the crawling worms were not disgusting anymore, that I don't feel disgusting anymore. If I think that it's okay to drink corpse water, then can I really drink it again because I thought it is okay? If someone harms me and I thought, okay, that person is a Buddha, that's what I've learned, that it's okay to be harmed by that person again and again? Or if I think positive and practice the theory of secret, that all the monies and fame and almost everything gonna become mine? No, it is not. All things are created by the mind. We call it 일원상. It is another word of 일원상. Seeing mulberry gratefully and being ew due to the worms are the mind which is arising and ceasing. You might remember what I
Yes.
talked last week. Anything arising and ceasing is not permanence, no matter it is visible or invisible, no matter what it is touchable or untouchable. Do I still have that feeling or eating mulberry sweet? No, I don't. I just remember the taste and the texture of it. Do I still have a creepy feeling of the worm? No, I don't. I just remember what I saw, right? Feelings, emotions, memories, theories, knowledge, ideas, and the physical things like this paper, my parents, my phone, my partners, children, even your bodies, they are arising and ceasing. They are impermanence. They didn't born with you. When you got them through your six senses, they burst. And they keep changing, followed by the cause and effect, followed by the causation. We know that anything born is destined to die. So it's also called birth and death. And because it follows the principle of causation, it's called cause and effect. So in one Buddhism, arising and ceasing, birth and death, cause and effect, they are the same thing, has a different name. One more time, arising and ceasing, birth and death, and cause and effect. Then where are those arising and ceasing appeared? Where? They appears in the mind where there is no birth and no death, no arising, no ceasing. It is free from cause and effect. It is calm and clear. This sound, this gong sound, is coming and going, arising and ceasing. It's just birth and it's gonna go die. Where? In our mind. You are listening to me so clearly because your mind is calm and clear. Wonyo saw that mind like we are seeing now. Wonyo saw that the same mind. Shakyamuni Buddha and the founding master Sotaesan and all the sages, they saw the same thing. They listened just like we are doing. We are listening. What we see, what we listen, what we smell, what we taste, what we feel, what we think, appears on the mind where there is free from all the cause and effect. Sotaesan, the founding master of Won Buddhism, said, all things are of a single body and nature. All dharmas are one. All dharmas are of a single root source. In this regard, the way that is free from arising nor ceasing, and the principle of the retribution and response of cause and effect, being mutually grounded on each other, have formed a clear and rounded framework. It's Iran-san. All things are created by the mind means that everything revealed on the mind, that is the way of no birth and no death, and the principle of cause and effect together. However, the problem is, it is easy to obsess with that, with what we see and what we listen, especially relationships with people. The attachment turns out as a greater pain than any difficult task. What if you don't like a certain person? Whatever he or she does, it looks really bad. You really don't like it. And what if you love a person? Whatever he or she does, it's okay. They can do anything in front of you. What if a person shows ingratitude and rude, even though you treated that person really well? That attitude is harder to accept. So then how can we find the balance between no birth and no death and the cause and effect? How can we be at peace? How can we be free from all suffering? All things are created by the mind. So first of all, we need to know about the mind. Based on no birth and no death, everything is coming and going through our six senses, followed by the principle of cause and effect. That is what's happening in our mind. When your state of mind is balanced between no birth and no death and cause and effect, it is called Iran-san. That is the Buddhahood. If we practice finding the balance between those, then we can free from attachment to no birth and no death, or attachment to cause and effect, attachment to arising and ceasing. For that, the second one is be mindful. Sotaesan said that a practitioner try to be mindful moment to moment as a chance to practice. When we are mindful, wisdom is naturally arising. True wisdom is not just good for us, but for others. Master Sotaesan's term is benefiting ourselves and benefiting others. And third, take the action. What you think, what you say, what you act become your karma. Most people make their karma according to their habitual things or external conditions. But when you know your mind and when you are mindful, at that moment, the initiative lies with you. So take a chance and create a new cause for a new future effect. This is the moment that you can create a cause for the new future effect, new future result. So with this talk today, I hope we found our true self, the Ilwan-san, and every moment turns into our practice. Then our lives will be a journey to become a Buddha.